Have you ever wondered why a team will some rounds go 2 players in connector or all 5 players B? And the philosophy and game sense behind it all? Well, today I will give you the best guide to how the best team in the world plays Overpass. And I will break down the ideas around the map and analyze some pro matches to show you how the theory is applied in matches. First, we need to understand Overpass as a map, and here a map made by Ducky CS2 on Twitter, and he has made much of the stuff I will talk about in this video, and allowed me to use it, so check him out. As we can see, Overpass are split up in phases, and these works for both sides. Phase 1 is what CT and Ts are fighting for early. This can be if the Ts wants to take con control, a CT and T will meet around here, marked in green for phase 1. These are just important to remember as a general idea of where early the CT and T will fight from. So phase 1.5 is what happens after phase 1. Let's say an Oper is peeking into phase 1, and after he gets the kill, he runs away and he now enters phase 1.5, marked yellow. These are the main early control both teams strive for before an execute. Let's go to phase 1.5 outside of A. Here, most of the utility lineups you need to take A site control are from these spots inside this phase, and that's why teams wants to control it. Phase 2 is more based around where we see more of mid part of phase 1.5 and 2.5, and it's why con and water is marked, since even though you only control these positions, you cannot do much from just these two. Phase 2.5 is what I like to call execute phase, where the Ts has gotten these spots and are now about to execute. This phase are the last chance for the Ts and CTs to fight before a site take happens. And phase 3 is site, and the end of most rounds. Now you can understand how the pace of the map is laid out in phases. Let's then look at the position of the map we have in a default. Well, here I wanted to show you the default positions in the start of the round. These are just so you can all understand what type of positions the default builds around, the most common ones at least. While there are other defaults, these are the main one and most common ones. Well, I've talked a lot about zones, so what are they? Well, all maps are divided into some zones and Overpass is no difference. And to simplify it, zones are the most important part of the map. Like on Overpass, these are the zones, and we have put Monster and Long as 2 zones. And these zones are usually lurk zones, where by themselves they might not be the most important zones, but for strategical reasons are very good zones to control. And the strategical reasons can be for lurking, not leaving any gaps, and pinch pressure. If you don't know, if you control zone 1 and 3 highlighted on the map, you can use this control to pinch and then win zone 2 from the enemy. Zone 2, 3 and 4 are the most important since these control the rotations of the map. It's where most teams puts the most players. And here is where we can link up for some concepts about the map. Let's look at this from Astralis vs Mouse at CS Asia Championship 2023 to see this concept of the zones in action. We are seeing the zone both teams prioritize for the round. Astralis starts by having 2 players contest zone 3, 1 player towards zone 5, and then 1 player going towards zone 2. And here we can see zone 2 and 1 are underutilized by Astralis. And this is done to rather focus the default around connector zone and zone 3. And then use this to be able to either pinch pressure zone 2 from con and the solo mid player, or take zone 4 with pinch pressure from Monster and con. While Mouse are going for early zone 2 and 4 pressure. But we can see that Torsi, being afraid to be pushed and pinched, rotates over to zone 1, just to be safe from the pinch Astralis might play. And here we can see that Mouse are having 2 players now going to take zone 4 to try and prevent the zone pinch before Astralis can do it. Astralis, realizing they can't pinch zone 4, are now going back and taking zone 2 away from Mouse with a pinch, as well as then taking 1 player pack up towards zone 1 to still have some more map control. Only problem is that now Astralis left some gaps in their plan, and they've allowed Mouse to take zone 5 for free, and here Mouse knows where Astralis is, and some tactical gaps has now been a curse, as well as the zone 1 player is too slow to help the side take and Mouse takes the round, by stealing away crucial zones to just be fast enough to rotate and hold A. Well, let's talk about the concept of pack. This concept builds like a wolf pack, so the more players the better, but there are some downsides to this. So let's start with the 0 pack player. Well, what a 0 player pack is, it's all about to leave a spot open on a map, like Long, Monster, Water or Con, and this will create gaps that the enemy can abuse and play around. But this is all about doing a calculated risk or playing an anti-strat, like we saw here versus Virtus Pro and FaZe, where FaZe let A be open since they knew Virtus Pro would not go and abuse it and take it, and it paid off, since this allows them to be more players in the other zones of the map. This is more of the lurker as a strategical look. There will not be enough manpower to take anything or use utility, so it's seen as weak, but can be very good to hold and deny information from the enemy. And play as an unknown element, the 2-player pack. 2-player pack allows you the option to trade, take map control as long as it's versus 1 CT, if there is 2 it's a 50-50 fight, and if there is 3, well, you're screwed. And this will allow you to be able to set up a player with utility, take map control and deny the enemy's map control. This is as well the most common on T side and CT side on Overpass. Since if you want long, as we can see here, you usually send 2 players to take it, so 1 player can be more of a support and the other will take the fight. Something Astralis loves to do. 3-player pack. 3-player pack is usually the go-to pack to take map control, since here you will always have a trade and a player to use utility and set up players. We usually see this on Overpass if a team wants to win water or middle control, since when CTs hold it, there are usually 2 players. This will as well allow you to do pinch pressure to a zone with 3 players. 4-player pack. This is the same concept as the 0-player pack, where 4 players will allow you to win some map control easily in the early and middle phases of the game, but we are leaving strategical gaps, and these type of packs are usually used to win one specific zone and then play from there, or in a rush. Here we have a map, and I will draw in the zones and then color blue for CT control and red for T control. This is just a control you will get without contesting any enemies early. And now you can see how the zones are so important on the map and to contest them and win them, since these are the places where the enemy meets. So let's look at demo to see this in action. We are back with Mouse and Astralis round 11, and we will see how Astralis uses their free map control to win more map control. Astralis starts by taking zone 5 and 3, while most are taking zone 3 and 4, and we are in a very default setup. Astralis then sends 2 players to take zone 1, and then 1 player to have a present in zone 2, while Borup as well in zone 3 to hold. While most have now 2 players to come and contest zone A. Most realizing they can't hold zone 2, goes to focus zone 1, and here with pinch pressure, a long player and the con player comes up to help and pressure out Mouse in zone 2 and takes it. And after they've taken it, they go back and start to pressure zone 1. And by winning that, Astralis have won both zones that are linked to A side and can go A and win the round. Site takes. Last part of this video are site takes. And here I want to show you guys how to take site. So let's focus on A site. Most sites can be divided into zones as well. Here they are. Whoever controls these will win the site take. So let's say it's a 4v4 and the T's are taking site. And as the CT, you have bank and trash, while the T's are coming too long and too toilet, with the 4 zones the site has. This take is equal, but let's now say the T's smoke off bank and trash, and then take site. Now the T's have all the site control, but for the T's to secure the win, they will have to fight for more than 1 zone to control. And here, they might have to take bank with a Molotov and a player pushing in. Only problem now is the pack rules. So let's say 1 player stays long, 1 pushes bank and 2 goes toilet of the T side. Then you as the CT can now try to kill the bank and long player, since they can't be traded and are the weakest pack, and this can quickly fall flat for the T's. So let's watch Mouse and Astralis again in round 6. We're seeing this live when Astralis goes for the A take. Astralis are 2 players going long and then 3 players going towards toilet, and we can mark out these 2 zones. But look at Mouse, they now control toilet and trash, as Astralis quickly loses the fight for the toilet zone, and this leaves the toilet player alone in his pack, and then 2 players coming from long. And here we see the toilet player knows he will be pushed, and he runs back to take the fight. And out of the blue, Astralis have lost 2 out of 4 zones around site, and Mouse now controls 2 zones on site, while Astralis only controls 1. And here they lose and execute. And this is the technical way of playing Overpass. Apply this to your games and you will win more. And again, thanks to Ducky CS2 on Twitter for allowing me to use his content in my video. Check out his account.